Okay. Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am, this is the first time I've done this, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I am also really excited. So I'm just going to start by talking a little bit about myself and my story. Um, some of you may know that I have suffered from depression and anxiety, and what really brought it like out and like full on just like completely consumed me was when I had a miscarriage 2 years ago. Um, that really, I was just really stuck in that pain and in that grief of losing my baby. That I had a lot of like toxic thoughts. My self-hatred like exploded to like a super unhealthy level. I was gaining weight at a really excessive, just like fast pace. um, I was not sleeping. I had really bad insomnia. I had really bad acne. My joints hurt, and I had inflammation throughout my body, mainly in my hands, feet, and my face. And I felt like my face was aging. Like I started getting like wrinkles and like lines, and my acne wasn't helping. And I just felt like my whole body was like aging faster than like what it should be. I didn't feel like a 30-year-old. I felt like 50. And I also was having some like endocrine issues. The main one being that I just lost my cycle, and so my acupuncturist, she introduced me to a 30-day reset, and on day 4 I got my cycle. And for something that I haven't had in almost a year, on day 4, I knew that this was like magic. I started feeling like shifting in my body where I just, the more and more, like each month that I continued on with it, I felt healthier, I felt happier, and 4 months later, my son was conceived, and now I get to hold my beautiful baby. So what really, it really showed me that for such a long time, I thought I was broken. I thought that my body like fully betrayed me. Sorry. I just really truly believed that I was just going to be stuck here, being so sad and depressed and hating my body and having this excessive weight gain. And it showed me that that's not my reality. Like I was just stuck. That was it. So my depression and anxiety, it started lifting. I was sleeping better. My acne cleared up, if you can see. I started having like some major weight loss, which was so exciting for me because that was one of the things that I really, really wanted was to lose weight. And with that weight loss, I stopped having like these like joint pain, the inflammation in my hands and my feet, it went down. I was able to start wearing my rings again. And it really kind of showed me that I I could start dreaming again. Like I haven't dreamt about what my life could look like in so long. And what I'm kind of seeing for myself now is where I was, I learned a lot, but I never want to go back there. And I want to help people live the life that they dream of, and that I know that they can have because I was there. And while creating like an income stream, while being at home with my family, while watching my kids grow up, while possibly like one of my dreams is to bring my husband home. And that, it's amazing to like feel this way, to like actually be feeling like I have these dreams and I can make them a reality. So that's really exciting to me. And I find joy now in feeling my body feel right within itself. And I've never felt like this before, ever. Like, I've never felt so right and so strong, and like this clarity that I have. It's been so long. And so now I just really want to like share my story and continue to just like share and open up. But now I want to introduce Leah. Leah, I met through my acupuncturist, and she's become a friend and mentor to me. She has been supporting people for 3 years in really living their dreams, and her heart is so centered around her family and just creating this, helping people create what they really like love and dream about. And I am just so excited to have her here and to have her be a part of this.
Thank you, Allie. Thank you so much. It's always so powerful to hear your story of so much transformation. And I remember the first time that Allie and I met, I was just like jaw dropped as far as where she was and where she'd come to in such a short period of time, like complete and total transformation on physical, emotional, mental, spiritual levels. It was like, wow. and her story is one of many, many stories that happen in this community that I'm going to tell you about, and with this protocol and with people's lives. And so I'll just share a little bit about myself. So I'm also an acupuncturist. I went to school with Allie's acupuncturist in Santa Cruz, where many of you may be based. And I've been passionate about health and about the earth for many, many years. I was a farmer a long time ago. And I've just always been passionate about the connection between the earth and our bodies. And when I was postpartum, my first child, and I'm actually now pregnant again at 45, postpartum, my first child, I was completely depleted with all of my knowledge of everything I could do for myself herbally and nutritionally. I was wrecked. And this is after a year of, young infanthood. And my friend, Christina, who is my mentor in this business, shared with me, like, just try this, mama, this will help you. And within 2 weeks, similar, like everything turned around, my physical, my emotional, my mental capacity. I felt like, what is this? I need to learn more about this. And basically what I'm going to share with you today is about what this is, what has served Allie and what we are helping people with, both on levels of health and on levels of creating income streams that create more freedom for people's lives and for people to be able to have healthy families on every level and have financial, emotional, community, and planetary health. And so Purium is the name of the community and the company that I am aligned with and that Allie is aligned with, and it stands for Pure Plus Premium. Oops, sorry, Naima is coming in. And we are a community of people, and I know the founders, they are such heart-centered people, a community of people who are here to help uplift humanity and to serve the earth. And so what we do together is try to answer people's prayers. And those are prayers around well-being on every level, as well as serving the earth and giving people a supportive community to grow their dreams, to create an income stream, to transform their health. And so I'm going to speak to each of these aspects a bit. They'll be woven in, but first I'm just curious, we're coming kind of out of COVID, not really, but for how many of you was there like an economic impact that happened in your life from COVID, or a health impact that happened from that big shift that we all went through together? And just like, if you can write in the chat, like something that shifted in your life as we went into this time of the pandemic. I'm just curious to hear, and if nothing shifted, great. Or if your work increased because you're a therapist or something like that, I'd love to just hear, because a lot of us have been through this are in this transformative process in general. So I'll just leave that open as a question. But for a lot of people, this time has brought people into a question of, what do I really value? Shut your business down and have to recreate yourself in a different field. Yeah, it's been a time of a lot of examination, either forced, of like businesses shutting down. My husband, who's a corporate and portrait photographer, completely had no work for 2 years. And actually, I want to say one thing. After changing my health, the Purium, I also came to realize, like, I had been praying for a way to stay home with my baby and not have to choose between going into the office and seeing clients or staying with my child, but to still be able to serve people with their health. and a way to create location freedom that wasn't dependent on me showing up in my physical form. Because some days I was tired and some, you know, and what I saw with Purium was this pathway to be able to work from home, be with my kids, create my own time, and create residual income. And so I'll talk more about that. But when my husband lost his job or his work during that time, and I was seeing less clients and patients, Purium is what became my income stream. And I was so grateful, and I'm still so grateful that I can work online virtually with people anywhere and continue to serve people's health and continue to serve people's, you know, creating a better financial situation for themselves. So yeah, for artists, for musicians, weren't any shows. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that your husband died last year. Yeah. So yeah, a big time of a lot of transformation. And so during this time, there's been a lot of, like I was starting to say, either forced examination of like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my energy? How am I? Like coming out of just the pattern of how we've been living, either forced or chosen to start to examine. And so there's been a lot of people being in a question and looking at like, I don't actually feel healthy on a deep level. And recognizing that this pandemic, for me, like the passion is that before this pandemic, there has been an epidemic of illness. Many people are not well on a lot of levels. And this has COVID, as I see it, has been an amplifier of whatever has already been under the surface. And so for a lot of people, that's been like, I actually don't align with the work that I've been doing. I don't actually want to do that. I don't want to work 9 to 5. I don't want to be gone from my family. I don't, you know, this isn't serving my life energy. And so there's a lot of people looking for solutions right now, both on the levels of how do we increase our immune health and really rebalance our systems, and how do we rebalance our economic system so that it's serving something that actually we're in alignment with and our values for, you know, how we feel, and then for serving the earth in this time where there's so much shifting in the climate change and we have lived in such a consumptive, you know, culture. Like, how do we actually become back into relationship with nature and with the earth? And so Purium's founders 25 years ago saw this trend. Dave and Amy, they were on the front lines of getting the organic USDA certification. They saw this trend of the chemical agriculture system and how it was really pulling us away from the earth and how it was going to impact our bodies. And so they started this farm to basically say, we are going to make sure that we have chemical-free food, and we have to figure out a way to get it into people's bodies. And so they started this process where now, I'll just speak to what's happening now. It's been years of having farms that are nutrifying the soil, really feeding the soil. And really, I don't know how many of you know this, but we live in a time where there is only they say it's 1% of the earth's soils are actually nutrient dense at this point, because Roundup has been sprayed all over the earth. We've depleted the soils. And so most food that we're eating is actually very nutrient poor because the soils that it's grown in are very nutrient poor. And so Dave and Amy saw this and they said, we need to actually create nutrient dense food. And then they were looking from early on, they knew we have to have a solution for Roundup, because this is an herbicide that is going to kill off the life inside of us as well. And so a lot of people, you know, so I'm going to speak to the products first, and why did Ali have this major transformation, and why did I have this major transformation, and why are people able to heal these chronic conditions like pain that people have had for 15 years or 20 years, and, you know, thyroid imbalance, endocrine imbalance, adrenal imbalance, all of these imbalances that are manifested that I spoke to of the pre-existing epidemic of illness are rooted in the fact that our food system is both toxic laden. So pesticides, herbicides, all of this stuff that gets sprayed all over the planet, and that kills off our gut microbiome. So I don't know how many of you have heard this term. It's thankfully starting to become something that is more understood. Our gut microbiome starts from our mouth and goes to our anus, and it's 30 feet long. And it is where we absorb nutrients from food, where we clear out toxins, where like we have billions of beneficial bacteria that are doing all of this work that we wouldn't be able to have health without them. But these toxins that are in our environment and our houses kill off all of these bacteria and make it so that our bodies have stopped knowing how to clear out the toxins. And there's like too many toxins for us to actually process. Like, we didn't evolve with this many toxins. It's happening too quickly. And we're not able to absorb nutrients from food. especially not even from nutrient poor food. And so what happened for Ali and what happens for people with this protocol, which is people start with a 30-day health reset, which is what Ali started with, what I started with. We really, and as Ali said, every month she did it, she saw more and more changes. And this becomes a lifestyle. But what this 30-day protocol really focuses on is taking this nutrient-dense food, which is grown in these farms with nutrient-dense soil. It's harvested, juiced, wind dehydrated on site right after harvest. And so preserving nutrient content, preserving the enzymatic activity. When we buy food from a grocery store, it's been there for several days, even from a farmer's market. We take it home, put it in the refrigerator. And I'm curious, how many of you, like, how many days is it until you cook that broccoli that you bought in the grocery store? Like, you put it in the refrigerator, it sits in there. I know for me, it's like at least 2 or 3 days, and it's already been a few days by the time it's in the grocery store, right? Like, there's not much nutrient content left in that. And so we might be like, I'm gonna eat this whole thing of broccoli and this kale and all of this stuff, and it's good, it's good. But what happens when you take in these superfoods that have been concentrated and then triple tested for no chemical residues at all, is that our cells that are in fight or flight from being overly toxified and poorly nutrified start to take it up and be like, whoa, you know, I'm alive. And all of that fight or flight that's happening that actually puts us into anxiety and depression and all of that starts to shift. Also, because serotonin and dopamine are both produced in the gut microbiome, 80% of serotonin, which is like a feel-good hormone, it's actually a neurotransmitter. But when we start to heal the gut, then we can actually come back into health. So this 30-day health reset has 3 focuses. 1, flood your body with amazing nutrition. 2, we have the only clinically proven product to clear out glyphosate, which is Roundup. So they were so intent on, we need to find an antidote to this poison, that a few years ago, they finally came out with this product, Biomedic, that is proven to reduce glyphosate, which is Roundup, by 75% in 6 weeks, and also reduce our body's C-reactive protein, which is our body's inflammation marker. So Ali was speaking to how all her inflammation started going away, right? So when we heal the gut, we're able to reduce inflammation, we're able to start to process things, and the rest of our organs start to work well. So her period came back, right? Because her endocrine system started to come back into balance once her gut came back into balance. And the third aspect of this, in addition to clearing out the Roundup, is that it helps to clear out parasites, yeast, fungus, and mold. And so when we can clear out these pathogens and the toxins in our system, restore the gut microbiome, and flood the body with nutrition, what I've seen over the past 3 years is that all kinds of health imbalances change. And that can be from as simple as, like, I feel tired all the time. Like, why don't I have enough energy? Or I have cravings all the time. I always feel like I need to eat something. Or it can be like Hashimoto's, autoimmune disorders, whatever it is. So this is the foundation that modern science, as it's being taught, is just catching up to. The medical world does not talk about this yet, because the gut microbiome actually only started being studied in 2006, which is really recent. Like, for a system that is 30 feet long in the majority of our body, it's kind of crazy that it hasn't started to be studied and looked at. And because there's so much money in chemical agriculture, it doesn't want to be revealed as to what the impacts are, because that would have to change the entire food and agricultural system, which is what Purium is about. We're like, change the whole system, feed the soil, feed the people good stuff, get the bad stuff out, okay? And so this is our mission, is to transform people's lives through health and well-being, and to also transform people's lives through getting out of this matrix of Amazon, where Jeff Bezos is, you know, billions and billions of dollars, and the people who are working are making dollar per hour minimum wage, right? And we want to help empower as many people as possible on a financial level as well, because our financial well-being is an essential part of our well-being in general. When we're under financial stress, it is very hard for the system. So we're passionate about giving people a pathway to create, like Ali is now doing, and like I chose to do, a way to be home with our families. So we're not just sending our kids off and then working 9-to-5 jobs and coming home exhausted and not have time and energy for them. We're passionate about helping individuals who are like, my life energy is being drained at my job. I work, you know, 40 hours a week. I don't want to do that. I'm commuting 2 hours a day. Like, I want to be able to have more freedom. I want to travel. I don't want to just have a 2-week vacation, you know? So this is a pathway for people. And we also have an amazing, amazing community. And we're very like reprogramming what it is to grow a business. We're not like in the competitive, you know, this person beats out this person. We all work together. I help Allie. And when Allie shares this with people, I also benefit from it. She generates income for herself. And I, as a mentor, receive part of that income as well, because we're working together. And so this is a full, like, more horizontal. Many people are making money at the same time while we're helping people get well. And we're also serving the earth by supporting, you know, regenerative agriculture and organic farmers. And we're also creating community with purpose and having this mission for this greater well-being of all beings on the planet. So that's what Purium is about. You know, for me, as someone who's been a farmer and also a person passionate about helping people with their health and well-being for 25 years, it has just met like so many aspects of, you know, what I'm here to do on the planet. And this whole piece around uplifting people on a financial level and really shifting that is like, I didn't think I actually could help people in that way. I just thought I was part of the system and had to like surrender to just being in the system. But now I have a pathway where I can actually help more people be like, wow, I don't have to be in that system. So it's been really revolutionary for me in my life. And this is, you know, what we're here to support Allie with, is that she's also passionate about this now that she's had the embodied experience to bring this to other people and share all of this with other people. And so all of you who are here tonight can support her. And that's what this call is about, is for you to understand more of what this new venture is that she is saying yes to and stepping into and growing herself into, and to cheer her on. That's one way. One way is to cheer her on when she makes social media posts, or, you know, just to be like, you're awesome. Well, first, let me just ask, did anything that I say like resonate for any of you, or feel like inspiring or educational, or like something that lit you up in any way?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So if it lit you up or inspired you, or was like, wow, I didn't know about all that, or I'm curious to learn more, like, this is where you can connect with Allie and you can connect with me, and we can tell you more about it. And where hopefully if you felt somewhat inspired, that you can just like cheer her on from an authentic place too, of like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah,
so
I've studied a lot of that stuff, and it's right on. I've done deep research into everything you talked about. And the health ranger is a guy in Texas who tests everything. And he has tons of studies scientifically where people buy supplements and then he tests it and finds out, oh, it's full of lead, it's full of cadmium, it's full of glyphosates. And he put a theory out that people aren't allergic to gluten, they're allergic to the glyphosate spray on it. So this sounds like an incredible thing that these people solved. I really got lit up by what you said.
Yeah, exactly. So many people are food sensitive and grain sensitive, but that's because the grains are the most highly sprayed. Even if they're organic, they get spray over from the farm next door that's not organic, right? And so exactly, like for most people, once they clear out the glyphosate and restore the gut, they're like, oh, like we actually have people in our community who were celiac, who now can eat, you know, gluten and not have a huge reaction because
that's cool.
Yeah. So number one is cheer Allie on. Number two is, if this resonated for you and you want to try this for yourself, or, you know, you're like, I want to learn more, send Allie a text and we can get on a private health consultation for free with me. And we can talk about what's going on in your life. What are your goals, and how can this help support your goals in your life? 3, if the business opportunity spoke to you, wow, like I want to create more financial freedom. Doesn't mean you have to leave your current work, but if you're like, I'd love the idea of residual income, because that's what happens in this, is that when Allie, you know, like I spoke to, she shares with someone, and because I take the time and I mentor her, I also get rewarded with income, you know, through helping her. And that creates residual income for me, where for the past 3.5 months of my first trimester, I actually didn't work with this, but I still had income coming in, which I could have never done as an acupuncturist before. It was like, if I didn't show up, I had no money, right? So if the idea of residual income, or creating another stream of income, doing something that feels exciting to you like this, get in touch with Allie and we'll get on a call. We'll send you more resources. Number 4, if anyone comes to mind for you, we build this through networking and through referrals. So if you like end up in conversation with somebody and they're complaining and they're like, I really don't like my job anymore and I don't know what to do about it. Or like, God, I've been struggling with like digestive problems or struggling with migraines or struggling with this. Like, oh, you know what? I have a friend who might be able to help you with that. And so this is an invitation. This call is like, here are ways to support her, you know, and support yourself perhaps. But like just thinking about helping Allie by widening the network here for like people who may pop up, who you can connect her with. You know, if it's not you, if you're like, I don't really want to do it, but I want to support people, I want to support Allie, I'll connect you with my friend Allie. And then they connect with both of us and we can help people. So that's what we're here on this call for, is for you to understand more, for you to support Allie, and to help spread the mission that we're on for everybody's health and well-being. So thank you so much for being here. I just want to see if anybody has any questions before Allie comes back on, and we're going to close it out pretty soon. You know, I really appreciate you all taking the time in your evening at this time and after your full days to come on the call. Does anyone have any questions?
I want to know what it is and if you have samples or how it works, because I would love, I've researched a lot of this. I think everything you said was right on. And you, both of you, Allie, that story was incredible. It was very, very heartwarming. And to be able to see someone be so authentic, it really comes through. So I would love to learn more about this.
Great. Awesome. Send Allie a text and we'll talk about it more, and we'll send you some resources to learn more.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And for me, being, you know, Allie's mom, and just seeing the difference and how happy she is and how healthy she is. The other day I looked at her and I said, your skin, you know, your skin looks so beautiful. She goes, Mom, it's Purium. It's like, oh, it's just, it's inspiring, and it's really fun. It's not only fun that's for my daughter, but it's also for my granddaughter. That's the future.
Mm-hmm. My daughter has been drinking these superfoods every day for 3.5 years. She's almost 5, and she like never gets sick. People ask her, what's your favorite, like we were at a little circle and they were like, okay, kids, like say your name and what your favorite breakfast is. And all the kids are like, my name is like Andy and my favorite breakfast is waffles. And she's like, I'm Naya and I love green drinks. All the parents looked at me like, what? How did you get your kid to love green drinks, you know? And so this is really like part of it, is like shifting what's possible. There are so many kids who are sick, like at too early of an age. And it's because our kids also inherit our gut microbiome. So if we as mothers are not in a balanced state, kids come in already compromised. And so we're really on this mission, like to help all generations and the incoming generations, so that we're shifting out of this epidemic of illness that exists throughout the world to something that is more, you know, life affirming. So yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna pass it back over to Allie. Obviously, I'm really passionate about it. I could talk about it for a long time, but I think I did a good job of trying to condense it all. So thank you so much for being here, everybody. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to connecting with some of you more personally soon. Yeah, Allie, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you so much, Leah. That was beautiful. And I just really want to say thank you again for coming here, for spending some time with me and with Leah. And I'm super passionate about this. I could talk way more about what I have gained and how this has truly changed my life. And it's like the more that I do it, the everything opens up for me. And it's just, I just really want to thank you. And I hope to talk to anybody soon. And yeah, I love you all.
Awesome. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
All right,
thank
thank you.
you.
You too, Allie. Thank you.